Hello again, everybody. I don't know why I keep doing that at the start of, every video I do. Seriously, I do. I just put my arm up, like, hello. So yeah, hi, welcome to the 4th installment of Dom G TV. I am Dom G, as you may have guessed by now. Yeah, alright, number one, I'd like to thank everyone that's watched my videos in the past, few weeks or days or however long it was ago I put them on. Because I've now got a second subscriber. I feel really special. I only had one person before, and he was my friend, so it didn't really count. And now I have 2 people. I have that warm fuzzy feeling that you get inside. And so thank you to all of you people out there. And I also looked at a comment that someone left on my YouTube channel, which says that he wants me to do videos about some of the issues that we raise in RE. Right? Let me explain this. I'm a A-level student, so I do A-level RE, so I do philosophy and ethics and stuff. And yeah, this is someone who's in my class and would like me to talk about some of the stuff that I talk about in class. This is because I have very strong views about certain things, right? And so when I voice these opinions, I do get rather enthusiastic about it. I can't stand people who don't agree with me, and then I ask them why, and they say, "Oh, I don't know." I really don't like people like that. I find them really irritating. Right? I'm perfectly fine if you don't agree with my opinion, right? But if you can't offer an alternative opinion, I think you should be shot. That's a little extreme, isn't it? But I stand by that. You should be shot. Sorry, I should also apologise that I've got a really sore arm for some reason. I don't know what I did to it, so I may be swapping arms every now and then, for holding my camera. My camera's really naff as well. It's actually an old mobile, but still, you can see me, right? I can't see you, but I guess that's the magical uses of YouTube. So yeah, because it's the topic that we're doing now in RE, I thought I'd start with God's omniscience. This is an attribute of God. For those who don't know, omniscience is the belief that God is all-knowing. Now, there are 2 types of omniscience. One is complete omniscience, and this is the belief that God knows anything and everything that ever shall be, was, is, and as a definite. So God knows what you're thinking right now. God knows what you will be thinking in 30 seconds. God knows your entire life before you've had it, right? And then there's a limited omniscience, and limited omniscience means that God knows everything that is possible for God to know. This is a belief supported by Richard Swinburne, if you've ever heard of him. If you haven't, I'm not going to delve into a large portion on him because I can't say I care. I think he's alright as a philosopher, but he is rather tiresome in the way he goes about stuff. So yeah, there's 2 issues raised by the fact that God is omniscient, and those the main 2, are that if God is omniscient, if God absolute omniscience, if God knows everything that has ever happened to me, ever will happen to me, alright, does that mean I'm not free to make any choices? For instance, if I'm walking down a street and there's 3 other roads, I could pick either one of them. If God already knows which one I'm going to pick, does that mean that in picking that road, I didn't really choose it? God chose it for me because He knew it. Right? Now, personally, I think this is utter rubbish, because there is no intervention of God, is there, in this situation? God is not pushing you down the road. God has no force that makes you take that path. You still choose. Right? The fact that God sees it doesn't mean anything. If you were at the end of the road thinking, which way do I go, and someone on the other side of the street saw you and knew that you were going to take the first choice or something, they wouldn't have forced you to take that choice, would they? Right. And the second problem raised by God's omniscience is if God knows exactly what we are going to do, if He knows how we will live our lives, every moral choice that we make, is He free to punish or reward us. And now this means, like, if God knows that you will live your life in sin, and, like, say you were a murderer or something, I'm not saying you are a murderer, that'd be a bit weird. If you are a murderer, why are you watching some random crap on YouTube? Go out and kill someone already. No, I shouldn't say that. It's awful. But seriously, if, let's say there's a murderer, okay, and he killed a bunch of people, when he dies, is it right for God to say, all right, you're a murderer, you've done bad things, go to hell, even though he knew, God knew that the murderer would be bad and would kill people, seeing as he saw it before it happened, right? No, I'll get to that at the end. Sorry, I keep straying off on tangents. I really should like hold to one point. No, this is a lot harder to solve than the belief than free will. I mean, personally, I can't say I solved the problem of free will, all right? But the free will was a lot easier to round to a conclusion of like what I believe. You're entitled to believe whatever the hell you want. But with rewarding and punishing, there's the sort of element that, yeah, God does know if you're going to do something wrong. So if God just lets you do this thing, can he like put his hands down and say you've been bad? Because it isn't just that simple, is it? It's you've been bad, but I knew you were going to be bad already. So I was already sort of planning your punishment before you got here. So that's something that I always wonder about. If that's the case, can God work like in time? If, like, say you were born and God saw that when you were 30 you were going to like become a murderer or something, would God start planning like your torture or something? Would God like make a gambit with hell or something about what they would do to you? So this is some of the shit that I think about, and it's some of the things that I tend to voice in RE, which some people like agree with me, not as many as I like. So I think some people don't agree with me because they don't understand what I'm saying. I do ramble a lot, I must admit that. Well, if you've watched any of my videos, you'd probably see that I ramble a lot. I've actually done this whole thing mainly because I ramble a lot, and I like to, get some of my rambling out there. So yeah, these are just some of the things that troubled me. Anyway, as I said before about straying onto a tangent, there's two beliefs about God's eternal attribute. Now, God is eternal, meaning that God can either last forever. So God was created in time at the start of the universe. When God created the universe, right, He created it and time at the start together, and passed through the universe as it progressed, right? So He has no knowledge of the future, which ties into the limited omniscience. Or God is timeless, and so God sees every single point in time, like simultaneously. God is out of time. God has no business to act within time. God can't act within time, which then raises questions about omnipotence. Sorry, I don't know why I stuttered there. I'm mixing all my words up as well. Sorry, I get really mixed up now. I don't know why. So yeah, this is just some of the stuff that I've been wondering about and that I tend to talk about in RE. For instance, yesterday, someone in my group said that they believe God is what am I on about? Words that make sense somewhere. They believe that God is everlasting, so that God was came with the creation of the universe and passed through it, and has no knowledge of the future. Right? If this is no knowledge of the future, then free will holds true, because we choose what we do, and God sees this choice but doesn't see beyond this choice. There's also some like really crap thing about this thing called middle choice, which personally I've never liked, because it raises too many like, yeah, but that's just ridiculous kind of statements. You do think, what the hell's going on? Right, middle choice is the belief that if God doesn't see like what you will do. God sees what you can do. Right, so say you come to a choice. Say you come to the fork in the road again. You've got 3 paths that you can go down. Right? God sees that you could go down one path, and like every single possible outcome that happens after that, God sees that you can go down another, the same, every single consequence after that, and then the third. Right? This like causes problems for me, because if this is true, then God sees you go down one path, right? And what happens when you come to your next choice? Like it tangents off again. And so this must all come into consideration like an instant, which God as an everlasting principle can't really make sense, because God passes with time. You know, that choice of which road to go down may be like instantaneous. You know, you may think, which road should I take? That one, right? For God to process every single possible outcome in the time to take it. Alright, I think that's a bit weird. I mean, I do believe that God is omnipotent, so God can do, you know, anything that's possible for God to do. But, you know, holding that God is everlasting, I don't think that's possible for God to do. Right? I know. I've said God a lot as well. It's getting rather confusing, isn't it? As I said, this is just some of the stuff I wonder. And I don't just like randomly think about it. I do tend to like be brought onto this train of thought. You know, I don't just like sit there sometimes and think, "Ooh, what's the meaning of life?" If you know the meaning of life, please post it on my YouTube channel, because I'd really like to know. I'm not sure why. Just, you know, to round stuff off. But yeah, the thing about middle choice, if you go down one path, right, and then you come to another choice, like later down the road, like you see like I don't know, you see a tenner on the floor or something, you want to pick it up. Right, you can choose to pick it up, or you can choose to walk past it, or you can choose to, I don't know, stand on it. You can like to stop the wind blowing it away. You can choose to do anything. Now, this leaves an unlimited possibility of choices. Yeah. All right. Each one, when you carry on, comes to another choice, which is an unlimited possibility of choices. Right. So if you think of it like, I don't know, just spanning off from one timeline. You've got one timeline here, alright, so it goes along, and then it spans off into like 5 timelines, say, and then those timelines span off and go into another 5, which it doesn't go into 5, because it goes into a limited amount of timelines. Alright, how can God do all of these timelines in the instant that it takes you to make a simple decision as like, what shirt should I wear today? What should I have for breakfast? Do I want a drink right now? Should I wait for a drink? You know, these are things that, you know, baffle me. I don't know. If you have any like views on this, please don't hesitate to post them on my YouTube channel. I do swear I will read like all of them. If you know you think can't be arsed or something, you post some obnoxious comment about, you know, you don't believe in God. Save it. Keep it to yourself. I don't give a damn. All right. You're not going to change my views with like simple comments on YouTube. I don't work that way. If I was influenced that easily, you know, I wouldn't be doing half the stuff I do now. I probably wouldn't be making this video. Is like scared at what people might think of me. But yeah, just post something if you want. Don't. Oh, and please start subscribing to my YouTube channel. You know, I've only got 2 subscribers, and I know them both. It's not great. I mean, you know, I'm thankful that they have subscribed to them, and, you know, I'm very grateful that these people take the time out to click a button. But seriously, subscribe to my channel, do something. You know, post a comment, ask me to do something. You know, I'll probably end up doing it unless it's completely ridiculous. You know, I'm not going to like sit here and spoon ice cream onto my chest or something, but I might do something if I see the point. I mean, I saw a comment today which I thought, do something about Ari. Yeah, sure, I'll do that. So, please, don't like be afraid to ask me to do something, okay? I'll see you later.